I mean, what am I even supposed to say? Fucking editors again. The editors. Munich. Or editors, as somebody said to me last time. Actually, it's editors. Don't care. Overseas bad actor. It's not looking good, bruv. Mate, what's better? This or Indiana Jones and the Great Circle the second you leave the Vatican? Anybody played that yet? That Indiana Jones game? Absolutely top draw game, the beginning of it when you're playing in the Vatican. Second you leave that, basically becomes Tottenham Hotspur this season. Oh God. So this isn't looking very good, is it? This isn't looking very good at all. Where are the wins coming from? It's fine. Right, let's not dive into Ange Postecoglou. Let's not dive into the reasons why this is happening. Injuries, I get it, right? Where are the wins coming from? Where are the wins coming from? We've lost to Everton. We've lost to Everton and to Leicester. Tom Foynes, friend of the show, Tom Foynes. He was on the Hometown Glory podcast this week, and he made a point that has horrified me, that has stayed with me, because it's very true. His point was basically like, if you want to go with the idea that we are entering something of a relegation battle, you can scoff at the idea. You can kind of turn your nose up at the idea of Tottenham going down. Don't be so silly. Don't be ridiculous. You're just being negative. You're just being knee-jerk. Don't be ridiculous. Think about how the rest of the Premier League rallied when there was a whiff that Tottenham Hotspur might win the Premier League. That Leicester season, ironically enough. Think about how much every other team rallied to make sure that didn't happen for us. There's absolutely not a chance in hell that every other team doesn't. And yeah, this might be Tottenham Hotspur main character syndrome stuff, but everybody seems to bring us front and center of every conversation, don't they? Every other team that we play against will revel in the idea of pushing us one step closer to relegation. 8 points clear. 8 points clear as it is now. That can evaporate. That can evaporate in no time. We have to seriously prepare ourselves for this being a truly horrible time. Like a truly horrible time. This is wild. I saw in the Patreon preview I did with Phil, I actually was saying what I can see happening today. Spurs go 1-0 up. Leicester have a little spell, fight back 2-1. And then we fight back and see the game out. We end up winning 3-2. I mean, it pretty much all went to plan other than that last bit where we just seem so impotent in attack, really. There's nothing really there that inspires an awful lot of confidence. And I know people are tired. I know the team is running on fumes and everything, but I mean, like, honestly speaking, like, I'm happy we beat Hoffenheim. You have to enjoy every single Spurs win, but that was a struggle, and that Hoffenheim team, honest to God, that Hoffenheim team were League One standard. Like, they were awful. They were awful, and we limped over the line against them. This Leicester side, like, are horrific. 7 defeats in a row before today. And they actually looked like a functioning football team against us. I know we've got injuries. I know people are tired, but other teams are tired, you know? Other teams are tired. We can't just sit here and say, "Oh well, there's nothing that can be done about this." We're fucking 15th, 16th in the table now. Like we're legitimately having to like look over our shoulders and talk about relegation. Like it can't just be a feature of this side. It can't just be a feature of this side that we get to winter and the team's just dead on its feet. The board absolutely need to support him more. The board absolutely need to spend fucking this week they have to spend some money. They have to bring some players in. They cannot sit there and watch that. They cannot sit there and watch that today. James Maddison like being a 50-50 before the game starts. Do you know what I mean? Getting pulled out minutes before the game begins. This cannot continue. This can't continue. They have to bring some players in. And I'm not talking about like a four a 14-year-old Estonian that is going to be class in a few years. That was proper Yadar, wasn't it? Uh, oh dear. I'm losing it. I'm losing my ass. Um, that's just so miserable, man. That Matt Law, everyone's favourite Matt Law. We all love Matt Law, don't we, at Tottenham? We all love Matt Law. He couldn't wait to dig the knife in. But he said that those are the loudest anti-Levy chants he's ever heard at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is good. It's nice to know that people are having their voices be heard. Does that mean Daniel Levy's any more likely to do something? I don't know. Remains to be seen, doesn't it? We can live in hope on that one. That's just awful today. It's just awful. It's just so bad. I think Ange Postecoglou will get sacked. I'll be shocked if he comes through this. I know there's issues. Who do we bring in? Are we going to have Matty Wells and Ryan Mason till the end of the season? Blah blah blah. Is that what you'd prefer? I'm not saying what I'd prefer. I'm just saying I can't see Ange Postecoglou surviving that. I'll be shocked. I'd be surprised if he survives that. A loss to Everton and a loss to Leicester. And as much as he's been dealt a very bad hand, he's playing it badly. He's playing that bad hand badly. It's 2 times bad. Double plus bad. Double plus badly we're playing. He's he's got to go, hasn't he? He's just like, you know, sometimes, right? Sometimes the thing is, I was saying this before. I was saying this before the game that we're in a position now with Ange Postecoglou, and I genuinely believe this. I think now we're in a position with Ange Postecoglou where there's a case to be made either way, and there's a very good case to be made either way. That's what I would say, right? Whether he stays or whether he goes. And I think, really, for the most part, this type of thing comes down to your personal preference. Do you want him to stay? Do you want him to go? Right? And that usually kind of dictates our thing. Gun to my head, I'm falling down on the side of the fence where I probably think it's time to go. And I'll qualify that with it's not ideal for him. Definitely not ideal for him. I couldn't tell you unequivocally that he is playing a part in this injury crisis. I'm not a physio. I don't have a sports science degree. I'm not there on the training sessions. I don't know what he's telling them to do. So I can't sit here honestly and say his methods, He's causing this injury crisis, but equally, do I entirely think he's not partly probably to blame for this? No. I think he probably does have a part to play in this injury crisis. Saw it happen last year, got to winter time, season fell off a cliff. And a lot of people who really, really like Ange Postecoglou and who are really quick to say, you're an idiot if you don't like him, or you're an idiot if you can't understand that there's injuries and stuff. We're all kind of saying, oh well, it's really good. We've started the season really well, and it's just a shame that obviously we can't play well anymore because all of our players are injured. And then again, we're sort of in this position this season where we've gotten to winter, and it's like, well, we would be really good, but all the players are injured. So, well, what are you going to do? Don't be upset about it. You're an idiot if you are. And it doesn't really wash, does it? I think it also does completely skim over the fact. Ange said before the game, he said, you can go outside and you can say, oh, God, it's so bright. But maybe it's not the sun. But every time it is the sun. And his point was, you can try and look for reasons as to why Spurs' form is so bad, but the ultimate reason is injuries. And I'm like, yeah, but we actually weren't that good before all the injuries either. Like we weren't very good at all before the injuries. And what's happened now is since the injuries, it's obviously gotten a lot worse. But the injuries haven't like caused us to be not good. It's not like we were sort of barnstorming the league and then it's fallen off a cliff again like last season. We ended last season terribly. And that kind of dragged over into this year. And we've still played through that. And we get more injuries and we look completely like we could be on our way to relegation. So, you know, do I think Ange will go? Yes. Do I think Ange should go? Yes. But it's not all about injuries. It's not all about this squad management stuff. I just think sometimes, right, whether we sort of like it or not, there's just a momentum. Clubs can spiral, right? And we're in something of a spiral, aren't we? And maybe that'll. I mean, I say, do you know what? I'm stopping myself there because you know what? The second I said that, right, we got rid of Conte and we brought in Stellini, and nothing changed. It actually got, it actually got worse. It sort of stayed at least as bad, if not got worse. To be fair to him, after Stellini went, Ryan Mason actually steadied the ship a bit. Just saying. Just saying. Ryan Mason actually steadied the ship a bit after Stellini went. From what we understand, it would be Matty Wells. The royal we. From what I understand, it would be Matty Wells who would take charge, not Ryan Mason. Ryan Mason, a former part of that team. But I think he's got to be on very, very, very borrowed time now. I don't see how we can continue with this. I mean, where are the wins coming from? Did a video this week. Go onto my YouTube. You can see I did a video with Scott Saunders where we used an actual like league predictor and went through all of the different permutations, tried to predict the scores as realistically as we thought possible. And I think we had Spurs staying up, but Spurs not actually getting to even the 40 points mark, and I had them winning today as well. I had us winning today. You gotta be concerned by the fact that we have to go to Portman Road and we have to go to Molineux, whichever one you want to call it. Don't want to get into another the editors squabble. Got West Ham away. Not fun. We got Anfield. Liverpool away, obviously. We got Villa away. We got Chelsea away. Where are the wins coming from? Our next game is Brentford away. That's not going to be easy. Man United, 16th of February, maybe. Then it's Ipswich away. Then it's City. Then it's Bournemouth. Fulham away. Chelsea away. This is a horrible end to the season. Like, make no mistake, this is a horrible end to the season. And you sit there, and I know there'll be people in the comments, and there'll be people that will say after the fact, this is so negative. This is that. But people have said that all season long. And I've not been trying to be negative. I've just been basically calling it like I see it. And for the most part, our trend has continued downwards. We've continued to trend downwards. Things have been terrible. Yes, we need to buy more players. I've gone on and on and on about that the past few weeks. We need to buy more players. We have to. We need to. We should be doing. We should have had them lined up. We should have had them lined up and ready to go. But that chairman of ours, that ridiculous chairman, the chairman of ours that wants to sell the club and still stay in charge of the club, as my mate Alan said to me on Twitter, it'd be class that, wouldn't it? I want to sell my house and carry on living in it till I die. Like, this egotistical, bizarre chairman that we have, who has managed to reduce our wage bill down to a point comparable of teams lower down in the league, manages to completely keep putting up the ticket prices. He's now got his NFL events. He's got Beyonce. He's got Guns N' Roses. He's got all these other events. He's got an F1 track at the stadium now. £5 million a match day, so we're told. Roughly, on average, £5 million a match day. The club is absolutely printing money. Absolutely printing money. Yet, ticket prices go up every single year. Ticket prices go up. But the wage bill keeps coming down. The spend on players keeps coming down. It's farcical. It's farcical. Like, just getting taken for a ride. That's why I'm just not doing it anymore. I don't bang on about it too much on here. But I do these now. I don't really go to games anymore because out of principle, I'm not putting my money into that club anymore. I'm not doing it. And it's not about the club. It's not about how much I love or don't love the club. It's not about the fact that, and I have plenty of mates that go there that I've seen down the years. Down the years I've been going. I miss it. I do. I really miss it. But I am not paying upwards of £60 to go and watch games like today and see us get turned over by Leicester when we've just not put any money into the club. Nothing. It's just shit, man. It's a joke. Like, it's a joke. And the problem is, I know I've said just a second ago, and I'm sure anybody that really loves Ange Postecoglou has probably already stopped listening or turned off at that point. But I have a lot of sympathy for the fella. I do feel for him in the respect that I don't think he's getting the best opportunity to show what he can do here. But even within that remit, he's not doing very well at all. Oh, man. James Reed in the comments has said relegation is a genuine possibility. Chris Davidson said, time for Harry Redknapp and a deadline day special. Imagine if we brought Harry Redknapp back now. Don't think he could do it anymore, could he? He's too old. How old is he? Let's have a look. How old? Oh, Ulf. How old is Harry Redknapp? 77 years old. No, you can. Well, how old is Roy Hodgson? Roy 77, same age as Roy Hodgson. So, maybe you could. But no, I don't want to. Here we go. Eugene Mackey. My 2 cents for what it's worth. Ange is a ceiling raiser, not a floor raiser. Daniel Levy is a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser. It's not going to work, and Levy will never provide what we need. Yep. Although Ange himself, Eugene, said that he's raised the floor of the club. I'd be interested to know what anyone else thinks. What did anyone else buy about Ange's comments that if he leaves the club now, it will be in a better state than when he joined? It was a take. Praetorian Dwarf. Make no mistake, we are going down. There's nothing Levy can do now. Nothing. Don't know. Big signing or two would give everyone a bit of a lift, I think, mate. Alex Jacobs, Ange is not the underlying problem, but I don't know how we can stick with him. I'm torn because nothing will change if we sack him. On the other hand, we're sleepwalking towards relegation. That pretty much, mate. That's pretty much bang on how I feel. Like, I think you've nailed that quite nicely there. And you haven't needed to spend 21 minutes wittering on with a block nose about it. So nicely done, Alex. Yeah. Baz O'Brien says, I've stopped going to games, and at this stage, I don't think I'll even watch anymore. It's like being kicked in the bollocks every week. Yeah. Juan Hodges, get him out. It's truly unforgivable. It's a truly unforgivable performance. And we're going down. Tired, injuries, etc. And just culpable for most of that, let's be honest. Paul Bates, we need 3 more wins. Sadly, we can't play Southampton 3 more times. Sort of how it's looking, mate. When you look through the fixtures, you know, Michael Anderson, Ange's not the only problem, but he's the only one we can solve immediately. These results and performances are unsurvivable. Yeah, again, like Wilex says, Levy not buying players to give us a chance to win the league is one thing, but not buying players to prevent relegation is inexcusable. Junkbot, if we can't even beat Leicester or Everton, we're absolutely fucked. Solitude Guard says, ha 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 ha. Darren says, give it Mason. Twisted Complex. Hey, this is it. This is it, Twisted Complex. Get in there. Here we go. This is what I love. Get the whole coaching staff gone, including including Mason. I love it. Yes. Napalm it all. Get it all gone. Tear it all up. Fold the club. Fold the club. Get it all done. Gone. Love it. Get the whole coaching staff gone. Get them gone. All of them. I want to see a big conveyor belt of all of Ange's coaches all going out with cardboard boxes tomorrow. It's not nice for anybody to lose their job. Yes, I know. It's just whatever. See, Errol Light says, is not backing Ange a tactic to accelerate the sacking? I mean, look, yeah, but it just, the problem with this, right? The problem is, if the club are making this point, that we can't back a manager that we're going to sack, then it completely undoes all this. Remember all the shit they briefed all the media and stuff before this season? We've got all these little kind of football men to work around Daniel and to create a framework and to create a foundation at this football club that is an interconnected process that means that a manager is not the main part of it. He plugs in and plugs out and all this type of thing. We're supposed to be creating this like academy of football, this footballing DNA that goes through the youth teams, across to the women's team, through to the men's team. It's all supposed to be this big symbiotic kind of organism where everything works in tandem. And if we do get rid of a manager, it doesn't matter because the players are all bought to play into this system that we've created. And then suddenly there's this idea that, oh, well, we can't buy any players for a manager that's going to get sacked. And what does this say for this? What's it say for Langer and Munn and these people that you've brought in to create this apparent framework that we're supposed to be able to plug and play and all this type of crap with? It's all just nonsense. It's all just bollocks. Everything that comes out of this club is just bollocks now. I feel like I genuinely feel like I'm going insane. Like, I've been doing this pod for like 10 years now, 10 years plus now. A long time. I've been doing. I'm 40 at the end of next month, and I've been doing these sort of pods and stuff since I was what 25, 26 when I was doing stuff with Fighting Cock back in the day. Like 25, 26, and all those years, the same thing has always been said. Well, yes, it's frustrating that Daniel Levy's doing this, but we're building and this and that and this and that. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. Over and over again. One of the most profitable, richest football clubs on the face of the planet is sat here now playing 18-year-olds, bringing kids off the bench. We had two senior players on the bench today that weren't even fit. Half the senior players that were on the pitch today weren't even fit. What is going on? Oh, what's going on? Zasinator says Levy is desperate to scapegoat Ange. Yeah, it's a bit of both, though, isn't it? I think. Emily Barker, does another manager to do any better with this squad? We had 4 teenagers finish the game for us today, and it's a disgrace that the squad has been allowed to be in this state. Yeah, I mean, there is a question to be had there, isn't there? There is a question to be had about what manager does come in. Iraola is doing a lovely job at Bournemouth, isn't he? He's doing a lovely job at Bournemouth. I want to tell myself that I think he'd probably come to Spurs, not in the middle of a season, but I think he'd come to Spurs. But then I'm also like, Bournemouth doing really nicely. Probably going to be in Europe next year. Maybe he'll fancy that. Maybe he'll fancy being at a club that will back him, that will continue to buy him players, that will spend money in positions that he wants to, reinforce his side. I think like more and more now, surely is going to arrive at a point now at Spurs where more and more managers are going to have seen what's happened at this club time and time and time again and just be like, nah. Graham Potter was, as Raj always used to say, making kissy faces at us after he'd been sat unemployed for a year and a half, 2 years. But when Graham Potter was on the up and up, when Graham Potter was, doing a very good job with Brighton and lots of clubs in the Premier League wanted him, he turned his nose up at Spurs when we went in for him. He wanted nothing to do with us. Arne Slot wanted absolutely nothing to do with us. Apparently. Who's the other one? Julian Nagelsmann. Nagels? Yeah. I don't know. Hey guys, let's skateboard. That's a bit Dutch, actually. I want to skateboard into training, yeah? Let's all play some super cool football for Tottenham, yeah? Julian Nagelsmann, that could have been our guy, Come, Harry, stay, man. We can skateboard, yeah? He's just got that kind of techno-German dude energy, doesn't he? Charlotte says, came for the thumbnail, stayed for the 14-year-old Estonian. Not in that way. Hacker, hello, mate. Hacker says, Ange is leaving, but Levy's probably surprised how everyone knows it's his fault now, not the manager's. Only thing to be achieved by Ange, really. Yeah. Charlotte says again, no question he has to go, but do we keep him until the conclusion of the Carabao Cup or do we boot him out now? Now that is a curveball. That is a curveball for Ange. It's a very good point. Charlotte raises there. because he's beaten Liverpool. Not many Tottenham managers beat Liverpool. He beat Liverpool throughout this crisis and all that type of thing. He's pretty much got us through to the next round of the Europa League. Does he deserve to be given a crack at these cup competitions? What means more to us, Premier League survival or winning a League Cup? I wonder if we'll let him stay to Liverpool. What's that? A couple of weeks away? I think we've got Liverpool a couple of weeks away. So I don't know. Llama All Sport says we really are Glenn Hoddle era levels of shite. I mean, I was saying this to one of my mates. Like, I think I was saying it on air last week as well. To be fair, this is pretty much as bad as I can remember as being. And I don't like when we were this bad. I don't even really remember it that much. I just remember football being, when you're younger, like football's more exciting and you're more invested in like in the pageantry of it all, in the singing, in the needle, in all that type of thing, right? So you don't even really care that much. Now that I'm old and I've seen all that and I'm tired and I've done all, I just want Tottenham to win. I just want to win. 40 in a year or so, and I've seen us win 2 League Cups. Pathetic. Pathetic. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting to that sort of age where I might cark it any day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to see him win something. Come on. G Bro says, have you sung Munich yet? People are fragile things you should know by now. It's again, that song. Ryan, we've been mid-table for over a year now. Darren says, we were like 6th before the injuries. Yeah, but it was very close table. Like we were like 6th, but we were also like, all right, fair. We were like, I think it was something like it was something mad, quite mad. Like we were 4 or 5 points away from like the top 4, but we were also about 4 or 5 points away from being where we are now. So, yeah, we weren't setting the. Come on, Darren, mate. Come on. We weren't setting the league alight, mate. We weren't setting the league alight. We just weren't. That's bad faith. Sorry, calling you out there, fella. Mac, mate, we've not looked convincing since we got whooped by Chelsea last season. Ange is not the man. Ollie Whitefoot, injuries have exacerbated our existing frailties. I mean, it feels, I don't know. Feels it. I just don't know. I don't know what we're to. I don't know what we're to do here. What are we to do? What are we to do? Like we're genuinely we're flirting with relegation here. We are like we're seeing relegation across the bar. And we're giving it a what? Do you need a drink? Do you? Yeah. Whatever relegation's having over there. Cup of Tottenham tears, yeah. Little glass of Tottenham tears, yeah. Go on. That's what we're doing right now. We're not. I'm not going to make this metaphor too crude, but we're not in bed with relegation yet. All right, so we're not there. It's at the preliminary stages. We're swiping. Yeah, that's me being a dar again. I'm totally out. I was never a part of the. Is that what you do on dating apps? I think something like that. Swiping. I was totally out of the game before all that stuff arrived. Before all that new fandangled stuff arrived. Let's do the players. I feel a bit bad even doing the players because, do you know what I mean? Like, I just think they're all knackered, aren't they? But let's do the players nonetheless. HS says, "What is a dar?" So dar it's one of these things that's taken off mostly from Twitter and stuff. But it's like a Scottish dash, very northern English, I would say, expression for like your father, your da. But it's like kind of saying your da is like it's just saying it's like a kind of like a thing, an out of touch older bloke would say. Joe, what the problem here is, Joe, the problem here is all them ADHDs. That's the problem. In my day, Carl Donnelly did a really good bit on this. I'm not going to butcher it, but Carl Donnelly, Tottenham fan, very funny man, good comedian. Have a look for it. He did a very funny bit on dads talking about this generation and autism and ADHD and all that type of stuff, neurodivergence. It's very funny. Look it up. He's a funny guy. He nails it basically. But that's what a dar is. So when I say, "Oh, that was a bit dar," I'm saying, I'm becoming an older guy, and I'm making these points about popular culture or something that you'd expect to hear your drunk uncle or your dad or whoever saying at Christmas time after a few ports. Kinski. Well, I mean, he came into the team with a bang, didn't he? Came into the team with a bang. Lovely distribution. Looked exciting, and I would say this does feel harsh. I know, but again, I mean, their second goal was good, but I kind of again feel like with Trossard's, I kind of feel like Vicario saves that, and I'm suddenly like not in this bubble of like, oh my god, we've signed the next Petr Cech. I'm like, we've signed a young, upcoming goalkeeper who looks very promising. But when he's fit again, Vicario should probably be our goalkeeper. That's just where I'm at right now. Okay, it's just where I'm at. Archie Gray, no, he's a lovely young player. He's knackered. I look if I'm going to be completely honest about it. If I'm completely honest about it, right? Archie Gray had a bit of a stinker today, but he's a kid. He's a kid. He's a brilliant player. He's knackered. He's played far too much like football, I think, already, probably. We're going to break these young lads. I'm not having a dig at him. I just think he looked a bit off it today. That's all. From his own high bar that he's set. Ben Davies, very underappreciated footballer for Tottenham Hotspur. Give him a new contract, get that contract extended. For all this kind of like, the thing is, right? For all the get rid of him that we had from Skip and Winks today, like, Skip and Winks, who, were all right. Winks kind of bossed the midfield, if I'm being brutally honest today. Skip came on a bit later on, and but Skip did boss the midfield today. Two players who we're always very quick to say, they're not good enough. Get him out the door. Ben Davies, another one. Get him out the door. Get rid of him. We don't replace them. We don't replace these players. And then we sit here and bemoan the fact that we've got nobody to come in and fill in these positions when we hit an injury crisis and stuff. Ben Davies has to stay. He's a good player. He's been a loyal and firm club servant. Good performance today without ever being spectacular. But that's kind of what you get from Ben Davies. Give him the contract extension to keep him here, right? Drag us in. I'm not going to dig him out today. I think he was, I think he was fine. The thing is, Leicester put a lot of pressure on us, but they didn't they weren't taking the piss. You know what I mean? Like we weren't. It's midfield. I don't know. Like they probably could have scored more, and so our defense probably did all right, and the keeper did all right. Pedro Porro. I keep getting called out for the way I say that. Pedro Porro. People find it funny because I say his whole name as opposed to just Porro. And they also say I say Pedra. Pedro Porro. Maybe I do, Pedro Porro. I just like it. It's got like a nice there's a nice bit of alliteration to it. I think people I think Spanish people say porro. If you're asking for a porro, it's a little fruity cigarette, a spliff, a joint, a doobie, a zoot, whatever you want to call it. Apparently that's what a porro is though. Pedro Porro. Uh I think he's been awful. I mean, it was good delivery for the goal, but other than that, terrible. He's knackered. Plays a lot of games. Yes, he's played basically every single game for us. He is absolutely knackered. He's done. I get that, but his performances don't half reflect that. That's what I'd. That's what I'd say. Oh, is that a weird? When I was like, this hiccup. When a hiccup and a burp kind of combine, you like. I just had that basically. Shade Everton says, "You're always talking shit about Richarlison, except for the 30 seconds after he scores. He's been punished enough. Send him home." Right, you pay for him. Pedro Porro. Come on, Jeddy boy, get back. Pape Matasar, not fit. Clearly not fit. Clearly knackered. Very much showed today. Not very good, but I love the boy. So, yeah, I mean, give him a chance. A boy I don't love, Rodrigo Bentancur. I thought he was awful today. I was apoplectic. I was like red in the face, spittle flying out my mouth, shouting at the TV when we got that free kick in about the 96th and a half minute outside the box. And what does that fucking idiot do? What does he do? He just knocks the ball across to Kulusevski, plays a quick pass to Kulusevski. Instead of allowing us to get everybody into the box, which could have been a potentially threatening free kick set piece. The amount we've seen no scored against us down the years, and you still got this idiot doing that, putting the ball down and just knocking it to Kulusevski. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? He played all right for a few games before his knees exploded, and then he's come racially abused Son Heung-min and pretty much the nation of Korea as well, South Korea. What are we doing with this fella? Getting into punch ups on international duty, or I mean, that stuff, whatever. I'm not bothered about that. You can do whatever he wants on international duty. I mean, within reason, obviously. Don't like him. Get rid. We're debasing ourselves, debasing our club shirt and our proud history every time he gets on the pitch. Oh, we don't like West Ham. We don't like Chelsea because they have horrible players and they say horrible things to Son. Literally got someone in our shirt that says horrible things to Son, and he's shit. So, not got time for it anymore. Lucas Bergvall, I'll be brutally honest with you. I barely even realised he was playing today. He's a kid. He shouldn't be playing as much as he is. He should be in a position in his career now where he comes on at the end of games like this when we're 2-0 up and one of our senior players can clap the crowds, give Lucas Bergvall a kind of a pat on the back, and we all get excited because we've seen that 18-year-old come on for a bit. That's where he should be. But he's getting run into the ground because our moronic chairman, who released that, what again was it they briefed to the press at the start of the season? Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall have made such an impression in their first few days in training that Tottenham are no longer prioritising signing a new midfielder. And what else did we prioritise? Absolutely fucking nothing. We signed nobody else. We've just run. If you were one of these young players, you almost feel like taking some legal. If they get to like their mid-20s and they're clapped out, you'd probably take some legal action against this club for the way they've been managed. It's pathetic and it's ridiculous. Sonny tried his best today, but he's getting on a bit, man. Like he's getting on a bit. Kulusevski knackered. Like, what did he do today? Not a lot because he just what are these players supposed to do? Richarlison scored a lovely goal. Beautiful goal from Richarlison. He's very good in the air, isn't he? I think that's 2 games, 2 goals now, at least in the league. Or did he score against Hoffenheim? I can't remember. He scored against Everton. He scored here. He came off to resounding boos, more because I'm assuming people were unhappy with the decision to take him off, as opposed to actually booing him. But I mean, he didn't look happy about being taken off, but I guess it's about managing his game time. And I think if we're being truthful, he doesn't look fully fit. He doesn't look fully fit yet. That time does need managing. Probably the right decision, but it's ridiculous we're in this position. Sergio Reguilon battled when he came on. I'll give him that. And I kind of admire that about him. Picked up a yellow card. Didn't really set the world alight, but he battled. He got stuck in. He fought for it. It's the fact he's sitting there on a bit. I think he's actually, to be fair, I think he's been injured as well. My point was going to be that he's, beg your pardon, sat on the bench while we're running Archie Gray into the ground. But I think he has been a bit injured. So, let Ange off with that one. Will Lancashire, too young, didn't really do anything. Mikey Moore, lovely, looked bright in his cameo, tried to do what he could do, but, wasn't really anything on for him. And that's that. Look, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. To end this where it began, we have to start taking this seriously now. We've lost to 2 of the teams that are below us in the table. Actually, genuinely, and I mean this. I know this is kind of like, self-publicizing and all that type of thing, but also go onto my YouTube and watch the prediction thing we did. Even do it for yourself. I've put a link in the description to the website that we use to do the predictions. You can do it yourself, right? Predict how you think this season is going to go for Tottenham, and you can do everyone else's results. See all the permutations of the league. It calculates it all for you. But we've done that, and like I say, for me trying to be as honest as I possibly could, I had us staying up, but we didn't even make the 40 points. I had us staying up mostly because the teams below us just couldn't really pick up enough points. But like I said, in my prediction, I had us winning today against Leicester. We're in big trouble. And I don't like... There's this like prevailing... And if it does turn out to be this way, fantastic. Egg on my face, again, great. But there's this prevailing logic that when Van der Ven and Romero come back, it's all going to be fine. It's all going to be hunky-dory. But really? Like, is that definite? I don't think so. I don't think it's an absolute definite that this happens. So we've got to consider that we're in a real funk right now and we need to get out of it. And whether that's by signing players, sacking the manager, or doing both of those things, something has to change. Something has to change because this is uninspired. This is starting to look, and has been looking for quite some time, really quite bad. Really quite bad. We're in a dangerous spot, and like you can't. The worrying thing is, right? You can't even look at today and say Leicester got lucky. We would have done all right were it not for that goal getting disallowed or that foul that Leicester got away with or nothing. Leicester just 7 losses on the bounce. Leicester City came to our stadium and just won. Like, they just beat us in a game of football. And there's sort of that prevailing just sense around the whole club that it's that, the Wojak, the okay, one, where he's looking down. It's just, it feels all a bit like that. Don't know, man. Horrible. Like, horrible. What's this? So, Errol Light says, games played since Chelsea. Okay, so that Chelsea at home last year when Pochettino's revenge. We've played 49. We've won 19. Drawn 7. Lost 23. Goal difference -4. That's bad, isn't it? It's bad. It's really bad. I don't know. All this, it's terrible. No, I'm going around in circles now. I'm gonna go and watch instead. If you want to listen to me talk about things that aren't football, things that I love, do a film podcast. Ben Haynes, BYOB, bring your own blockbuster pod. This week we're doing Interstellar for our 100th episode. We're going to be doing Interstellar, so I'm going to go and watch Interstellar, and have visions of myself as Matthew McConaughey looking through the bookcase, slamming on it, screaming and crying as I watch a version of myself watching Tottenham in the 16-17 season, buoyant, enjoying life, enjoying football, enjoying Tottenham Hotspur, when the world was full of possibilities for us. Also got Patreon though for more Spurs stuff. Patreon.com/RTRpod. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial and check out all of the stuff on there. All the videos and stuff I put on YouTube, you get earlier on Patreon. You get a preview pod on Patreon. You get a Thursday pods, a few other little bits and pieces that I do on there. So that'd be good if you want to sign up for that. If not, please leave a rating, please leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, it's more of you watching than there are thumbs up. So I always say that, but give us a thumbs up, give us a like, stick on notifications, all that type of stuff, all the YouTube like and subscribe, all that type of stuff. If you're listening to the podcast, please leave a rating, please leave a review, please share the podcast wherever you share stuff. I really do appreciate it. Podcast is growing again this year, which is nice. This is the thing, right? Feast or famine. You love me when Spurs are really good, and you love me when Spurs are really bad. All the in between bits, you can't tolerate me, can you? Can you? But do you know what? Do you know what I like to think is I like to think that in times of joy and in times of strife, you still search me out to listen to me prattle on and cough and drink from my water bottle. In my messy look, we're moving house soon. The house is messy. All right, get it? My messy house. But thank you very much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for listening. Our football team might win a football match again, but we don't know. Do you know what I mean? At this stage, who knows? Maybe we'll never see Spurs win a game ever again. Imagine that. I don't really want to. Anyway, come on, you Spurs. Up the Spurs. Much love, everybody. Bye-bye.